It was chance after chance after chance, and how Liverpool won by just 1-0, only they know. Moment of controversy there, that goal disallowed for Manchester City. Daniel, big game. I'm sure you have a lot of fallouts from this particular game you want to address. Touch on this for us.
That goal was rightfully chopped off. It was a foul.
The foul leading up to the goal.
By Haaland on Fabinho. So it was a good spot from VAR. Look, it was a game of two halves. I felt in the first half, Liverpool had a lot of noisy possession.
Yeah.
They had the ball and they created some half chances. But I felt Manchester City created some very good chances in the first half. There was that Haaland header that everybody got up thinking the ball was in the back of the net, but it just didn't go in. Then in the second half, Liverpool just turned up. When we saw from the highlights, they had clear-cut opportunities. The Jota chance that I think he hit the outside of the post and went out. Salah, per his standards, once he cuts in, at least you expected him to hit the target because it was a very good one. We saw that Ederson save from point-blank range. He and Salah.
Wide across.
Darwin Núñez again instead of him passing.
Loving the goalkeeper and doing what not only he knew.
So, look, Liverpool had a ton of chances in that second half. And if we are basing the game based on clarity of opportunities, Liverpool could easily have won by 5-1, especially in the second half. That's how good their chances were. But that's where you have to give credit to Jurgen Klopp. When you are going through a season like this where as a manager you are clearly confused. You've tried different systems, different players, personnel, where everything is different just because you can't quite figure out how to go about your business. And then you face your fiercest rivals, especially in competition in the last, 6-7 years. And you're able to turn up and play like this. Then it shows why you are a top team. And for Liverpool, they did really well on that regard. For Manchester City, I'm surprised by Pep Guardiola and his reluctance not to change his personnel and change his system at a certain point in the game. It was very obvious. If you look at the work that Harvey Elliott did defensively, helping out Milner, double teaming Foden, almost blocking him and not giving him the option to go out wide. It means anytime Foden tried, he had to go inside. And once he comes inside like this, because he's left-footed, he's toothless. He can't take a shot. And that's what they consistently kept on doing. I thought either he swapped Foden to give him more of an option in going out or cutting in against Robertson on the other side. Although there was also some very good defensive work being done on that side.
Diogo Jota was backtracking all day.
Brilliant defensively on the day. Or bring on Jack Grealish.
Grealish is having a really good season. This would have been a good test.
It was the change that was. Man City, it was begging for that change, for Jack Grealish to come on in, at least get something out of James Milner, because it was quite easy marking him. Last season's game, Foden was isolated one-on-one with Milner, so he made it easier. But when it's double team, when it's 2 against 1, you need a player that can have 2 options. Grealish can go out wide and swing it in. He can cut in and take a shot. That's 2. And so for a defender marking that sort of player, he doesn't know what to expect. But it was a bit too easy for both Elliott and Milner to take on Foden. And another one that surprised me was how he stuck Kevin De Bruyne out wide on the right-hand side. We've seen him occasionally pop in, but in games like that, he has the freedom to roam.
But it's worked for them largely this season.
That's what I'm saying. In games like that, the difference is he has the freedom to roam. So you see him occasionally down the right-hand side. Sometimes you see him through the middle, but he's usually in the middle, getting in the thick of things, getting things done. But this time around, he was stuck out wide, quite isolated. He was almost like the furthest forward on the right-hand side. So there was nobody overlapping him. And the only person he could look for was Erling Haaland, who today was under the shackles of Van Dijk. So it was extremely difficult for Kevin De Bruyne to get his imprint on the game. And I was asking myself, why don't you just stick him down, bring on Mahrez or somebody, take out one of the midfielders, stick in Kevin De Bruyne, let him be in the thick of things, and then isolate. If you have your Grealish out and you have your Mahrez, then you give Liverpool more problems defensively. But Pep Guardiola waited so late, and the change he opted to do by that time was already 1-0. He was chasing the game. He brought on Julian Alvarez, who would do the running around, and they started going route one. But from that particular point in that, you could clearly see that Liverpool had won the game. Because if you look at between the time Liverpool scored the goal to the end of the game, they created the better opportunities. Once they brought in Alvarez, Klopp threw on Darwin Núñez. And you see, you might criticize Darwin Núñez, but what he has is his ability to read the game. His attacking movement is so brilliant. He's always there. That's the point.
There were moments where I didn't believe he could actually run that quickly. Yeah. He skinned his mark a couple of times.
He's quick. Shocked. His positioning is excellent. And it's just the decision making. You see, a thing like that can be coached. It can be coached out of him. So there's a lot of promise in a player like that. But at the point where he was introduced, it was almost like cost 90 for Man City, because when they go forward, they can't break Liverpool down, and then they counter attack. And there were 2 or 3 instances where it was 3 against 1 for Liverpool. But somehow the score still
squandered all of it.
Yeah, 1-0. So credit to Klopp for the first time this season. He's actually impressed me. When his tactics have been called into question, he did a brilliant job. For Pep Guardiola, highly disappointing, but it also shows that this Manchester City team can be beaten. There's a certain game plan that can go out and destabilize them, and that's what Liverpool did, and you have to give them credit for that.
Coach, you are one of the few people who actually believe that Liverpool could win this game. Yeah. Today, like I've said already, I haven't believed in Milner this season. I'm not going to sit here and act like I've believed in him. But he came out to the right back and did an absolute yeoman's job. Joe Gomez today barely put a foot wrong beside Van Dijk all game. And then your good friend, Thiago Alcantara. For me, those were my men of the match. Salah got the goal and the others pulled the string. Those were my men of the match. But how does a coach reconcile with his initial starting 11 when they are injured and you bring in your makeshift players and they put in a shift like this for you, especially in a crisis time?
You see, with James Milner, what is very sure is that he will not repeat such a performance next week. If we were to throw him in there, he will be skinned. He's that sort of player now. He's so experienced. He understands the occasion. When it's a big game, psychologically, if you throw him in there, he will go in there and do the job for you. And that was exactly what happened. So credit must be given to Jurgen Klopp. I think the most important decision to me was to go for Joe Gomez ahead of Konate.
Konate was even injured. Yeah.
There was no Matip. And the manner in which Joe Gomez went about his business today, absolutely brilliant. You could clearly see constantly he was listening to Van Dijk. That is the problem most Liverpool fans haven't noticed. When it's this Van Dijk Matip, nobody seems to control the other. There are 2 bosses or 2 captains in the ship. So there's always that
miscommunication or lack of sync.
I believe in myself. But today, you could clearly see
they were in sync.
Yeah. The decision making, the communication. And Van Dijk is that player who reads the game better. Look, for me, he reminds me of Rio Ferdinand at his peak. When Ferdinand was at his peak, Vidic was all about doing the donkey work, and he would just read the situation and step in it and get the team back on the ascendancy. For Thiago, I've always said that
he's big time. Look, his level of composure in this game for me was out of this world.
The mojo with which
he had enough time to be even kicking things he was not supposed to be kicking.
I'm telling you, when he's in that mood, the audacity, the mojo with which he will want to get everybody to see that, come on, this is Thiago. Today was a perfect...
Come on, give me the ball.
Come on, let's go. I'm your boss. Don't delay. Respect yourself. Give it to me. Let me do the do. You understand? And you can clearly see him talking. Yes, it's Fabinho who sits and protects the back four. But when you pick it up, the moment he shows up, let go, and he will detect the tempo of the game. And today he was brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. For the front three, look, I want to salute Jota. But I think that no wonder he was stretched out. At the latter part of
he really he gave his everything.
Oh my goodness. And it has to do with the mentality of the coach. You see, the Liverpool team is a team you don't want to play at Anfield when they are going through this sort of patchy runs. I always believe, like I said on Sports Panorama, that if there's any team out there who can match Man City at home, you ask Pep, he will tell. No wonder he admitted that, look, these guys...
Klopp is still leading Pep on head-to-head.
Yes, these guys are not playing well. But at Anfield, I still believe they can do us so many harm. And for me, the game today was an epic representation of what the EPL is all about. And that goal, look, Salah should have had at least 2 goals today, but it's very high standard. But credit must be given to Ederson for that very brilliant chance. The league is still fresh. How many games now? It's 9 or 10?
11. This was game week 11, actually.
Game week 11. Man City, they don't have a game in hand. Liverpool have a game in hand on Chelsea. So there's still a long, 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 long way to go. And there's everything to play for. But I don't think Liverpool will win the league. I think...
Is this a turnaround moment for them?
It could be. The reason why I'm saying it could be, they've made themselves so unpredictable this season. Games they're expected to win, they are not winning. I know. The performances they put up today, it was because Man City was in town.
And they knew their ego and pride was at stake.
And they knew that if they don't show up,
they could
be taken to the cleaners. So everybody had to double their effort and everybody had to come to the party.